starting a video from inside the car. It's been a while since I've done that. Anyway, we're inside the 105 series that I did the FTE swap on late last year. If you haven't seen that, I'll drop a link down below to those episodes. But if you may remember, I was not done with that build. I said there were a few more things coming, and in this episode, two big things happening. We got to put a new suspension under this thing. It's getting way too heavy. You can see in the background there's a whole lot of stuff flying around. James is actually going over to Fraser Island soon, so the thing's getting very loaded, so we need to sort that out. And number two, we're going to give the motor a bit of a tickle, so we're going to head down to Just Autos, get the thing on the dyno, and put a bit of a tune in it, because to be honest, it just feels a little bit underpowered for what it is. And they're not a fast engine from stock, but they've got the potential to have a whole lot more. So that's where we're heading now. Gonna see the crew down there and see what we can do. Alright, so we're down here at Just Autos. Now, you guys probably wonder, I'm at a lot of different dyno places, and that is for good reason. Now, I have a lot of different vehicles with different engines. Now, every dyno shop has a specific type of vehicle that they concentrate on. The guys at Just Autos are really concentrate on the diesel tuning, so they know what they're all on about. This thing's got the FTE in it, so I've come down here. We're gonna give the thing a little bit of a tickle. And for me, honestly, it was a little bit underpowered. I towed the 80 series down to the exhaust shop the other day, and the thing struggled to tow it. So I'm in two minds. Either one, they're just really slow stock, which is possible, and two, there might be something going on with the turbo, the external gate, something like that. So I'm gonna let the boys, they have a quick look and make sure that everything's running sweet and it's actually getting boost and not just running through the gate out the exhaust. But if it's all good, that just may be the way they are, and I'm used to bloody 650 horsepower and not standard diesel. But either way, we're going to get a bit more power out of it and see how we go. Play some bets on the initial run. I said 60 horsepower. Hearing 70.
Yeah, I'm going to go 70. I'm going to go 80.
Go 65 in between.
All right, 65.
60, 65, 70. We'll see what Matt reckons. Hey, what horsepower do you reckon stock will it make?
80.
Oh!
85.
I said 60.
60? No, it'll be more.
35s, all-wheel drive. So we didn't put a two-wheel drive kit on it where you can disconnect the hub. So it's on an all-wheel drive dyno, and we're on 35s. And so it saps a heap of power. Alrighty, so we got Matty here, owner of Just Autos, aren't you?
Yeah,
got that right? So,
yeah.
Sweet. So he's gonna be tuning today. Now, I was saying just before, there may be some issues with the motor. We'll just double check that it's actually making boost the way it should be. But what's the plan? A bit of a pre-run, then a post-run?
Yeah, definitely. We'll just make sure that everything's where it's supposed to be. There's obviously no point tuning anything if it's not running 100% to start with. There's so many times people will bring a car in and they said, hey, we want to tune for more power, but not realising the fact that there's an issue with the car to start with. So we'll just do that. We'll do some basic checks on it, make sure everything looks above board. And once it is, then we can start tuning it.
We did notice one thing though on the intake. There's a build-up of soot, which like you got your EGRs, your recirculation, everything. This is different. It's straight out of the intake box. So you're a bit concerned about that.
Look, just the dusting side of things, with the fact of at some stage in the life being the fact that this is a conversion, there's issues with the fact that we've gotten dust and dress through, and with Max with that oil, you know, that build up is quite thick. It was probably about 1.5 mils thick. So look, it's not the end of the world, and we inspected the front of the turbo and it all looks okay, but it is concerning the fact of the build up that has been there. So I'd say in its previous life, maybe with that setup, it's had a K&N filter or something like that, which has not been oiled correctly, and it's let in a bit of dust.
It's interesting because it was recon the motor, but I do remember the guy had a rag in that intake and it was all taped up, and I got a feeling he may not have pulled that off. He's done all the valve clearances and everything, but we never actually cleaned that intake. So it could just be old news. So we've cleaned up as much as we can, but like I say, it might be one of those things that kind of just builds up over time.
1 week later.
Was I correct? Is that 60?
It is 61.5.
60 horsepower. Do you reckon that's normal or not?
No, definitely not. I think we're in
something's
limbo.
going on. Oh, I was right though. I said 60 on the mark. That is crazy.
But let's just see when it is factory, once we fix the problem, and we'll see where it's at. But it's got
some boost issue or something. I don't know.
That's all right. We'll suss it out, and
that is kind of good news. It's not a terrible engine. I was about to put it in the bin, but no. So we're gonna get it back to factory, work out what the issue is, and then we can go and tune it and try and get a bit more out of it.
So the issue is that we started right down at 26 to 1 to my load hold. Even when we make maximum boost, we're actually getting the right amount of boost of 14 pounds, so everything's perfect there. So turbo's working considering we're so lean.
So I missed that first bit, but we're in limp mode.
Yeah, so basically I'd say that the fact that with the conversion bits and pieces, if we're not putting forward the information,
we did blow an ECU. We
Okay,
blew an ECU up,
Yep.
couldn't get it, but we put a new ECU in, so something happened and triggered something.
We need to just have a check from that, because right now, looking at this, that car is running in limp mode. We're obviously not getting a mill light or an engine light on the dash to see what's going on.
Yeah.
There's 100% something happened there, so let's sort that out first.
Yeah.
So we've got a code in there, injection pump system fault.
Right.
Okay, so that's the issue why we have no fuel. We've got to work out why we've got this fault.
All right, so I think we found the issue. It was the spill valve controller, which ages ago you struggled to find one. There is a difference between like the 79 and the 100 series one. We thought it's a different part number. This one has a 100 series one, but the ECU is a 79, so we thought, oh, maybe a compatibility issue. Got on the phone to some gurus that know about this stuff. They said, no, they should still work. So it's obviously a fault with that spill valve controller. We just moved it, ran the codes again, and it's cleared the fault, done one pull off camera, and it seemed to be working. So that was the issue. It was stuck in limp mode. Now we've got it working. We're trying not to touch anything. Hopefully we can get some pulls done, and maybe it's just a little wiring issue, or maybe it's just fixed for good now. But yeah, we should can we do just another factory run, and then we'll do the tune and see what we do. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, the code didn't pop up that time, and we got what, 67 horsepower?
7 more horsepower, so.
7 more horsepower, so that's weird. It's not love and life. I was still probably one of the closest. Someone guessed 70.
I said 80.
You said 80.
35 is all drive, so it's pretty close. We're talking a little bit off, but it
was 67 horsepower.
Really? Yeah, so I did another.
Actually, no, did you say 70?
I said 65. Did you?
Oh.
Yeah. I said 80. I was a bit.
Who said 70?
Might have been Michael.
Michael says, I think it's time for you to work your magic.
Yeah, we'll get it. So.
We'll see what we can get out of it now. We'll let Matt have a bit of a play with the ECU, get the thing tuned up, do a couple of pulls, and hopefully we can get at least more than 100 horsepower would be nice.
We'll definitely get there.
Oh my God, 600 horsepower. No, 165.
It seems hard to believe that that's real, but that's definitely the torque that sort of come in.
So the green line was when it was like
200 meters, right? And then we've come up 550. Obviously, I did a run there at 178, so I've dialed it back.
Yeah.
But even at 550, and we're talking at sort of 1500 to 1800 area where we're making our peak torque, you can see, some of the percentage gains here. So we're talking, that's 223% gain in torque. Which is massive. And from obviously peak power, obviously the one with the tune and dialed it back, we dialed it back 15%, so we lost 15% torque, but still to be safe. So, but that's a massive gain. Obviously the car with 35s and bits and pieces, but to be at 200 newton meters, you'll struggle to pull fifth gear at 100 k's. You sort of need about 280 newton meters to really move.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was towing the 80 the other day, and it just could hardly stay at 100. So it was in that limp mode. But like I said at the start of the video, we're on all-wheel drive because we don't have that two-wheel drive, lock-up hub conversion thing. So big tyres we're pushing. So yeah, that's a good result for an all-wheel drive car. Well, there you go, James. Sorry you couldn't be here today, but you're going to have a completely different car to drive. So I haven't even driven it yet. We're going to jump in and see what this thing does on the road and do a bit of tweaking for some drivability stuff. And yeah, he'll have fun at Fraser. Actually, he's about to go to Fraser. I'll try and get him to film some footage of that. So perfect timing. It's only 2 days away for him. Actually, I think he's leaving tomorrow morning.
Chuck it in first and just drive like normal and it will throw you off.
How's the clearance? You're like, oh, it just fits.
Should.
Alrighty, first a little test drive. So what are we looking for when we're doing a road test? Obviously you want to try and get that drivability.
Yeah, look, it's pretty interesting. Drivability is what I'm all about. I love the fact that, you know, you can make a number, but the numbers don't represent how a car drives. Having
just quietly, whoop, that is a completely different car. Holy, I was foot flat everywhere, just coming on, and then it just took off. Sorry, I wasn't ready for that.
So, yeah, look, I guess that's what it comes down to, having that drivability where we can start to cruise through areas. It's all about that transit response when you load it, and the fueling and boost has got to be right. And to get that transit response, you know, they'll drive better for it.
Oh, well, thanks for that, eh? I can't wait to show James. He'll be absolutely blown away with this thing.
No, I'm stoked.
Completely different car.
It'll be good, mate.
All right.
Hang on.
Now, and it's on. Now, you'll be blown away with the power. But if you're not, just pretend you are.
All right, done deal.
For the video.
All right, done. I'm so excited to drive it, eh?
No, honestly, it's...
Are we explaining the situation prior to the tune?
We already have.
Oh, you had? You've done all that?
Yeah, I've been at Just Autos all day figuring out what's wrong with it.
Sounds the same.
Some soot coming out. I've added an extra 100 horsepower. It meant you're going to Morton Island in like 2 days.
Oh, puppy. Holy shit.
How good is it? Actually can get up to 100 now.
That pulls.
And that's stock turbo, no injectors.
Wow.
So, time for a big boosty boy now?
Yeah, I reckon.
If this video gets 500 comments telling James to put more power through this thing, we'll do a big turbo plus 70s with 400 horsepower.
Plus 70s!
400 horsepower.
Dude, that's incredible.
It's not bad.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Anyway, enough joyriding. We've got a suspension kit to install.
We do.
Let's get into it.
Sick. You.
Alright, so what we're going to be putting in is the Superior Engineering 3-inch kit, very similar to what is in the 80 Series Patrol. 80 Series Patrol, did you? I'm going crazy. Anyway, so the chassis on a 105 are basically the same as an 80 Series. So I've done this kit before. We're going to see how quick we can do it. We've got one night tonight. We've got the pit crew here. Hang on. It's not about the size, it's how you use it. What's up, guys? Just a quick message from the sponsor of this video, which is, well, me. As you can see, we've just dropped a new mask. Heap of us are in lockdown and you must be sick of wearing those bloody crappy white cloth masks, medical masks, whatever. Something with a bit of style. If you want to grab one, they're on the site already. You might have seen that on Instagram. But something else that was just released yesterday, brand new side banners. So these run up the side, or you can run them down the bottom of your windscreen there. They look pretty sweet, and you can actually peel off that white border there if you just wanted the clean look as well. I'll show you a photo of that. So a couple of new items on there. You want a mask, you want a banner, check them out, the link down below on the website. Thanks, legends. All right, so we're gonna undo the diffs. No, we're gonna undo the shocks and springs first. So we're leaving all the wheels and tires on the diffs. We're gonna lift the car up, we've undone the shocks, and that'll mean everything can go higher than usual. Now that should be enough to drop out the springs, change them over, get the new shocks in, do them up, and then we'll do all the arms afterwards when it's on the ground, and we can jack the diffs up, take the wheels off, and make life a lot easier. But brake lines got undone too, because they're gonna hyperextend and they need to be changed as well. That one's a guitar string, it's about to ping. How many blokes does it take to undo a brake line, eh? What's going on under there?
Everything.
Just teaching the apprentice.
What you doing, Mitch?
Righto guys, I'm just putting in this front shocky. We've already got the coil tip, the resi mounts on the coil tower. We've already got them thrown in, so we're just going to throw the shock in. We'll go from underneath and then lower the car down onto it.
That's right. If you want to grab some merch, coming into summer, the singlets are a healer. So if you want some merch, guys, the singlets coming in the summer, they are online, so I'll drop a link down below. There's always a link down there for the store, and there'll be a new summer collection out very soon, so check that out if it's already dropped, but if it hasn't, it'll be coming soon. Oh no, we're trying to order Domino's and it's not going well. This is Westy.
How you going?
Filming today.
Oh, actually, you're filming me,
yeah,
so
I'm
I'm
filming
actually
you.
doing cool.
What are you doing?
Try to get this. Oh, my knee!
What? What even is that? Ow! He banged his knee on this. I've done that a few times. I feel good.
Oh, my knee!
So the top of the shock's bolting onto that bracket, yeah?
Attempting to.
And so you found out the rotation you need.
Yeah, boy. We're
And now it's going in for good. And then as the car drops down, same deal. We'll slot them in and then straight onto the diff. Should be easy in theory.
Should.
The diff is off the ground, so we can't get any more length. We're gonna compress it as far as we can, shoot the bottom in, and as it pumps up, we'll shoot the top in. I'll get it on your shoulders. Go, get it in! Bottom first, easier.
No, no.
That's already out.
Oh, we're never gonna get that.
Ah! Yes!
It's a boy.
Oh, that's what you're having.
Yeah, today.
He's been saying it's a boy all his life, and now he's actually having one. That's one way to do it.
Got it.
Righto, so we've got the shocks and springs in, and it's off the hoist now, and we're actually going to jack up the diffs, take the wheels off, so we can do the radius arms. We're going to do the front first. Radius arms are a little bit of work. Before they even go on the car, you've pretty much got to get these little plates and brackets ready on the actual arm itself. All four of these are actually slightly different as well, so there's a bit of an instruction kit to how they go on. And then we'll tackle the back. We don't have lower arms for this one. It's just to get the lift in, so there's the lowers you don't really need to change. It's only if you want to strengthen them you can get lower arms, but we do have uppers so you can adjust your pinion angle with doing the lift. So just do all that, and then well, she'll go off for a wheel arm to get all that sorted. How you going?
Hey, man. Did I fail to mention that I go to Morton tomorrow morning at like 5 a.m.?
That is true.
It's a fair point in typical B&B style.
So down to the wire as usual, but Morton Island first thing in the morning. Lucky bugger, I'm not going. He's gone on another trip, so get to try out the suspension. Funny fact though, there's been a bit of a gap between doing that tune from Just Autos. There was a trip, I think 2 days after that tune, he went to Morton Island, and now we're doing the suspension. It's actually kind of like a week or two later. He's going back again. So 2 test runs, first the tune and then the suspension, and see how this thing goes. What are we doing?
Right, yeah, so we're all done. We're gonna roll it forward about a foot, so we're not laying in the brake fluid like James
That's my idea.
showed before.
How's your hair?
Is it clean?
Oh my God, it's still greasy.
Oh, it was
He
so
laid
bad.
his head in brake fluid. It was amazing.
Excellent. Oh, go away, oil. Get out of my life.
Westy's going to get pizza, so I'm kind of filming on my own again, but radius arms have been set up, so we've obviously, like I said, all these are slightly different to clear the diff. So pre-done it. These ones normally get tightened up and the diff will actually slot in here and here with these spaces, and hopefully it's a smooth job. Here he is. Surprised you didn't eat them all on the way. Buy merch on buildnotboard.com/store.
We're not having fun right now. We're hitting lots of brake.
No, I just finished putting the rear brake line in and left these boys, and nothing has happened.
Can you modify brake lines for us?
Look,
Yeah, problem is this thing has ABS, so there's a whole lot more brake lines going on. You do have to cut the old sway bar mounts off. We've done that, and then you got to kind of roll the hard lines on the diff around to the top so that it clears in your radius arm. So some clearance issues, but once that's sorted, it should just slot straight in. Who's got the dirtiest hands? You.
I got the dirtiest hair. I think I'll win.
Okay, Westy wins.
Oh, yeah!
No matter what they call it, no matter what they want it, they don't know there's no way they'll ever get it. Wind just blows my
5 minutes.
I was going for 5 minutes.
We go, no, we're gonna break it bar and draw it properly.
Don't you know there's no way they'll ever get it when just
Cut the bolt off, throw the car in the bin, and then build a new car around it. Why don't we just cut the bolt off? Cut it off. All right, update. Westy's bailed it. He's gone home because it's past 9 o'clock and it's a school night. You know, he's got to go to bed. Westy, if you're watching this, you slacker. Anyway, we've done the back end while I wasn't filming anything. So the last thing to do on the rear is the remote resi mounts. So the shocks are resi. They've got adjustable clickers. So I think they just got on the inside of the rails there, pretty similar to the 80. Front, trying to get a stuck steering arm joint off. We're not changing the steering arm itself, but the steering dampener has a different mount, so I've got to sort that out. Radius arms are in, and then it's just a pan hard. That's pretty much it. All right, so it's officially almost 11 o'clock. I've clocked out at this point.
Is this like one of those movies where they start doing those cams? Like it gets more and more progressive, like mentally unstable?
It's not good. This isn't how we started the video, that's for sure. We're all a bit lethargic, and I've figured out why. It's because James is going on a trip tomorrow, and it always happens before you go on a trip. You're up till bloody midnight getting the car ready.
We'll make it happen, bud.
We'll make it happen. Just bleeding the brakes, and that wasn't made easy either because all the valves are blocked full of crap. So blowing that out and hopefully get some fluid through it. But yeah, that's sort of the last thing to do. I might wind it up there, I don't know. If I don't do an outro later, this is the outro. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope James has a killer time on Morton with the new tune and the new suspension. It's really sort of transformed this thing. There's not much left to do on it now. With the FTE, got the tent on there, it's set up as a full tourer. James has been working on the back end a little bit, so there's a draw system happening. Hopefully we'll have some photos and videos just to chuck on here so you can see what he's been up to with that. All right, see you guys later. So we've just been ripping around in this thing, you know, on the flat, but there's a jump over there. I'm gonna jump that, but first you gotta hit subscribe.